In this video, I'll show you the basics for how to use Repeat Grid in Adobe XD. Okay, to get started, I created a new artboard and I'm adding a rectangle at the top. This is where a logo or menu would be. Using the rectangle tool again, I am drawing a shape that will be a card. Adjust the size and also add rounded corners. Now there's many ways that you can use Repeat Grid, but how I like to use it is I design one element first before I use the tool, just so I kind of have something to play with. But you definitely could use this with placeholder shapes and text first. So I drag and drop a photo into the rectangle shape. When you double click in, you can move the photo around to change the position. I'll add some title text here. And because it's hard to see white text on top of a photo, I'm going to add another shape on top, change the fill color to black, and then adjust the opacity. I added round corners to the bottom left and right hand corners so that it would match the card. And because I don't want there to be a harsh line where this shape ends, I'm going to turn it into a linear gradient so that it goes from black to a zero transparency, so it kind of just gradates over the photo in this area. You'll want to play around with how tall the shape is, where the gradient ends, and also the opacity on both ends. Now that I have the card in a good place, I'm going to use the Repeat Grid tool to create duplicates. Now I could just copy and paste the same thing, but the beauty of using this tool is that it just makes it so much easier to make updates that go across all of your elements. After you click on the Repeat Grid button, you'll notice that there are green dotted lines around the element with these little handles. You could pull out to the right and then have the elements repeat horizontally, or you can pull down from the bottom and have them repeat vertically, which is what I want to do. When you hover between the cards, you'll notice the space turns pink, and if you pull up or down, you can adjust the spacing. I'm going to leave it at 28 pixels because I want it to match the margins on the left and right side of the cards. So now let's change the photos for the other cards because we don't want them all to look the same. A quick tip here. If you drag and drop a new photo into the top card that you created first, then it will carry that update through all of the other ones. So let's quickly undo that because that's not what we want. Drag and drop a new photo into the second card and the same with the third. We want to adjust the text so it matches each of the categories. So let's change the second to Shop Coffee and the third to Shop Matcha. You'll notice that when you make these kind of updates, it doesn't reflect in all of the elements. However, if you move, let's say, this text up, you'll notice how it moves it up for all of the elements, and it keeps them consistent. The same with the rectangle overlay we have. If we move it up, it reflects on all of them, which is good. This is exactly what we want. If you created these manually, then you would have to adjust one, then adjust the other, and so forth, and there's chances that you might create error. So by using the Repeat Grid, you're making sure that all of your elements are consistent, and it just cuts down on your time for design. So what if we want to add something? How would we do that? I'll use the text tool to add a line of text, but notice it didn't make any updates. In order to do that, we need to make sure it's within the group. So I'll delete it, click into the group, and then paste. And now it shows up in all of the elements. I'll change this text to be a large title for the category, and then I'll change the other one to be smaller so that it acts as a CTA. And now that I've made the design decision to have the text in the middle of the card, I'll need to adjust the black overlay so that it covers the entire card. I'll also change it from a linear gradient back to a solid fill, and then adjust the opacity. And now we need to adjust the rounded corners so that they're reflected on all four corners, whereas before it was just on the bottom two corners. The benefit of using Repeat Grid is that no matter what changes we make, let's say we change our mind about the design of something, we can make one small update and it will reflect over all of the card elements. This is a huge time saver. Let's say I want to go back and remove the rounded corners. I just need to select each of those elements, both the black overlay rectangle and the photo rectangle, and go over here and choose 0 for rounded corners. It instantly updates all 3 cards. But I decide I don't like that, so again, I'm going back in and adding rounded corners of 10 pixels. Let's go in and change the size of the category text and make it a lot larger so that it really fills the space of the card, and make adjustments to that secondary piece of text. Again, you'll notice that text updates need to be done manually. So here I wanted to change from Shop All to Shop Collection. So I will need to go in and do this. So this was just a quick introduction into the Repeat Grid tool in Adobe XD. I hope it helped you learn a few things so that you can see how you can start to automate certain things in your design process. You no longer need to group and copy and paste something like this. Instead, use this tool. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more. And leave a comment down below and let me know, have you started using this Repeat Grid tool? What are your thoughts? I'll leave some links down below to some other videos you might be interested in, or check out one of these on screen.